Good morning once again, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Today's a brand new day, so we are about to embark on some Easter painting tutorials. Easter's coming up. It'll be here before you know it, and I always have fun doing that. People seem to really like on the other channel I had at one time, they really liked it, and they like the one this new channel. This is a new channel for me because I actually lost the other one in a move and so forth and so on. So it's no problem because this particular channel, I just want it to be painting. So in a couple of minutes, we are going to get right to painting an Easter little Easter tutorial painting, and you can join in with me and check out the other videos too. But for today, we're going to do Easter videos, so come on in and join me. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're back, folks, and here's the little drawing that I started with of my little bunny to do this cute little Easter tutorial. So what I'm going to start out first, I don't think I want to go over every single video what we need. We have our water and all that, we all know. The basic ingredients of watercolor painting: water, paints, brushes, a paper towel or cloth or something. So I've got my little bunny here, and I'm going to take water and I'm just going to go all around the bunny with water. I'm going to miss his eye because I don't want it to spread around on his eyes. I just want it to be the body of this little guy. We want to have some blending of colors, but not on the eyes. So there we go. We got some water there. And I'm going to want to have some white, so I'm going to take some yellow ochre and a little bit of burnt sienna, I think it is, and maybe a little more. And we're gonna see what that does right here. Okay, it's not dark enough. Okay, I'm gonna add some of this, some more yellow ochre. And underneath here, actually, you know what? I need some sepia in there. So right underneath here, right under his little chin, is a nice little blend of a darker. You see how that does that? You see how the blend happens? I want to just keep that little corner whiter. Just see how it blends when you use the water. It causes the blending. So we got this shadow underneath. Excuse my voice, I am still dealing with the cold, although it's pretty much gone. I'm still dealing with it. Now I'm going to water down that yellow ochre quite a lot, and I'm going to go in here, add some there. We're doing the front of his body here. It's just sort of blending. We want it to blend in with that darker color. Let's see, I think I need some darker. I'm using sepia for underneath his chin and to get these dark, there, that's better, the darker shadows. And back in here and add like another layer on top of that one I was just putting down. I'm going to come in and I'm going to take a little bit of color out here and there. So I want this side to be the highlight side, but we need some color as well. So we're just going to dab it in. And then on the sides here, we're going to just, with the tip of the brush, this is a round Trenson brush, and it's a number 8. I have so many different brushes that You know, we all, once you've painted, I did acrylic painting for, oh geez, almost 40 years, so I just have tons of brushes, but I have specific brushes that I use for watercolor, which are these. So, and I'm going to add a little more sepia in there on this side. Take some of that water off of my brush. So we will be taking out and putting in and all that lovely stuff that goes on with, I wanted to leave these little spots for his fur, but it's really hard sometimes in you know, reference photos and so forth that we use to do that. So I also have Chinese white, which I use a lot. Right now I'm doing some, I thought I grabbed the sepia, but it was the Perylene green, but that's okay. I'm adding a little purple in here, which is kind of good anyways. And we're letting that blend down in between. And also that's going to be a little bit right in here. So he's kind of multicolored, you know, he's got some different colors going on, which fur always does. I mean, fur is never just one color. So we're watered down yellow ochre. I'm drying up now a little bit, but we want to just soften this. Get some darker color down there on the paws. Geez, I don't know if any of you have had any of these colds, but this is my third week. I'm totally better as far as, you know, how I feel. But boy, does it ever leave you with a bunch of crap to have to deal with. Anyway, all right, let's see. So we want some over here. We want a little bit of purple there, some here. And we're gonna mix that with, we need some right in here. With some of this, I'm gonna get some gamboge in there and put this. Remember, this is a painting, it's not a photo, so it's not gonna look like, and you don't want it to look like, you know, a photo. It's a painting. So we're just giving him some color here. Blending in. This is happening because I wet the whole thing first. Otherwise, I would have a lot more control of the water that's going on here and where it's going. But I don't, and then I didn't want to, so this is working out just fine. And we want to have, you know, this is the shadow side down here where he's sitting, of course. And we're moving it up and around, and then another little layer here. And we want to keep this little spot here, we want to keep highlighted. So part of the thing with doing watercolor is to try to remember as you paint, which took me a very long time to do. But, you know, I'm much better at it now. So when you do, you know, get painting and so forth, we're going to soften these little places a little bit here. You want to kind of soften it places that look like they have hard edges. If you like that, keep it in there. But, you know, usually we try to do that. And then add some darker in there. So a little bit, a little too much. I'm moving it around because I want this, all this under here is supposed to be the whiter. So I'm going to take off the paint. I'm going to wipe my brush on the towel and come back over here and take the color out so I can maintain. And you just do that until you get the whiteness of the paper that you desire. Okay, we're going to kind of come over here. He needs a little coloring here. And there actually needs to be white there, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'll do that with the Chinese white. after I get going. I'm putting some yellow ochre there, his little backside, because right in this area here is this little area of white, of which I will try to pull out, but I will end up using some Chinese white there. And then sort of take out some color here and add it back in for, I'm actually dipping into some metallic gold that I have, which I just thought would be kind of cute for this, for what I'm doing here. You know, it'll add a little something to everything. Remember, you're the artist. You're painting the painting, so you can basically just do what you want, right? You just make it the way you want to make it, how your eyes see everything. One of the things people talk about with my painting is how I blend colors. Well, the thing is with that, the funny thing is with that, is that I don't do anything special. I really just, I blend the colors on my palette. Excuse me. And then I just use whatever, you know, on my palette I see that I think would, you know, look nice here or there, but for some reason it just comes out really cool and people like it, which is awesome. You know, these are the, I guess you could call them happy accidents, but I wouldn't probably call them that. I'd just call them the blending of my colors that seem to happen, and I use them. Like what I'm doing right now is really exactly that. I'm using the blended colors that I have on my palette to make these blends. I'm gonna have some shadow in there, right in that area, in this area here. Everybody's bunny is going to come out different. You paint this and your bunny's going to come out the way you see it, or the way your mind wants it to happen. My bunny's going to be what mine is, so it's, you know, that's the way it works, the way it's supposed to be. I'm taking some color out here so I can come over with that little white area. All right, so we're going to go to the top here. I'm actually going to get a little more yellow ochre. I want to start out kind of light first. So we're going to put a little bit right here above his nose. And this is probably pretty dry now. So I'm going to take all the color off my, go around his eye very carefully. And I wanted to actually, you know, save out some little space around the eye. That's why a pointed brush comes in so incredibly handy. So anyway, we're going to put some of that lighter right there and here and up here, all around some different areas that I see are going to be in watercolor. Excuse me, hopefully I'll have a voice. You do not have to do these things, but in watercolor you start, they say, you don't have to, as I said, you start out light and go dark. where acrylic was always you start dark and go to light. So that took me a while to, I had to have little notes, you know, next to my work when I started to do watercolor, of which that is another subject I wanted to actually touch on. I painted acrylics for all those years, as I said, but I wanted to learn watercolor, but I just didn't think I could do it. I just, for some reason, it seemed so daunting to me that I just, you know, there's no way I can do that. Well, I can tell you right now, as you can see, that is a bunch of bogus lies that your mind is telling you, and you don't want to listen to that. If you want to paint, I mean, what I did was, I said, I did that for years. I listened to that voice saying that for years. and I'd go back and I'd look at the watercolors that people were doing, and oh, I wanted to learn it so badly. So one day I said, the heck with this. I am going to teach myself watercolor. And I did. And if I can teach myself watercolor, you can teach yourself watercolor. People will often think, oh no, you know, you have a special gift. It does, maybe I do, but that's beside the point. The point of the matter is you can learn, anybody can learn. It's a matter of, do I want to learn? Like anything else, right? You know, it's all the same stuff that we think, we go through in our minds. So in saying that, I'm trying to tell you that if you want to paint, go for it and do it. Don't just sit around thinking about it. Definitely don't tell yourself you can't. In fact, do the opposite. Tell yourself that you can, and after a while, you will. You'll get to that point where you will be ready to teach yourself something new. And it's I can't even begin to say how happy I am that I didn't listen to that voice any longer. And then because watercolor, I mean, I loved acrylic paint all those years. Really did. I still do. Excuse me. But there is a whole nother level of painting, a whole nother new kind of painting in watercolor. It's a very magical kind of painting, art, medium. And I'm just so happy that I did. So what I'm continuing to do here is just making his little face, softening out places. These are his little, you know, areas of his face that I want that to be a little, not quite as goldish. Okay, and then there's gonna have to be, because of the little fine places of white, that I will definitely be using my Chinese white or whatever. I might use acrylic white because that's one of the things I'm also doing, is showing you, and I've got some other videos on that, of how you can use acrylic paints in your watercolor paints. No problem. And I do have a video actually showing you that, a couple of them actually showing you that you can do that. I'm just now going underneath with some sepia and darkening that up again because, like I said, it will darken, it will dry light, excuse me. Oh boy, I'm telling you, this, I'm hoping it doesn't last too much longer with this cold residue that it left. Let's see, we're doing pretty good here. We need a few darker areas. I'm going to add some sepia in with some, actually not sure what that color is. I'm sorry, I didn't, but I want that to come out a little more like this and accentuate this little area where his face kind of is darker, because that's the, it's depicting the shadow side. So, and I mean, you know, this is all done in many different ways with many different people. This is how I'm choosing to do it, you know, right now. So, all right, so we want to have some, we're depicting some fur here. So we're going to come over here to his little nose and mouth and get that back established. A little bit of, oh, he's coming out so cute. Yeah, well, okay, so I'm going to outline the outline. I happen to like that in painting. I like the outlines. We've got fur on this guy, so we want to, just gonna, these are very, very beginner friendly type. Mine are very beginner friendly type of videos, so you won't find anything too difficult here. I don't want it to be difficult. I want it to be something that you think you can do. Now I'm coming in again with some yellow ochre because it's dried to very light. So I want to get this. I'm going to add water now. Take some out, put some in different places, soften it up. Some purple in there. Oh, he's looking pretty cute, I think. So a little more darker purple there. We need to just kind of leave that highlighted area. I want to pull some of that out a little darker. Kind of blot some areas for highlight. See? Just take the paint off your brush, wipe it on the towel, and go back in and blot some areas. Now I'm going to come back up here with this brownish color. And we don't want to go too far because around this left side is the lighter area of his face. So dip your brush in the water, come back and take the paint out. All right, I needed to make that right there. A couple of dark spots. I went to my sepia, and he has an eye that's over there, of course, because he's got two eyes like every other rabbit. Okay, this is where a pointed brush, a nice fine point. I mean, this is a size 8. I have these smaller pointed brushes, which when I do a little bit of the other works, like his whiskers, putting in the eye, and a few other things, I'll go to that one because I will want to have something very, very small to get into small spaces. Some people are very, very good at getting into small spaces with very large brushes, and I give kudos to them because that's hard to do, but I'm not all that. I'm newer to watercolor than I was, with acrylics. So I'm, kind of learning as I go. Plus I'm helping you learn as you go. And, all these things. So I love pointed tipped brushes. They really help a lot. At this point, I'm doing my own adding of color because I have my own idea in mind of what I want to be seen for his color. I think he's really, really cute. I'm liking him a lot. So let's come up here with some sepia and some of the color mix I've got going on in my palette, which I always say, that's my blending, is taking what I got on my palette and just using it. So we're going to put this little dark place of one of his ears in, up here. Hope you're all having a great day today. I think it's going to rain here today. I haven't got much to do today except to pick up some groceries later on. So I thought this is a good day to make one of these tutorials. So that's what we're doing. All right, gonna come down, and what we're gonna want on this side here, excuse me, is some watered down. Oh, I grabbed the gold. I don't know, is that the gold? It's hard to tell with my metallic gold and my, now I wanted that to be lighter, so I just wipe some of it out, simple. I'm gonna go into my red, watered down, and add some more pinkish red, and make his little pink. I like the pink. This shows a little bit of a different color, but I like the pink and the reddish part. The reds are so pretty in watercolor. And then what we do is we take the paint off our brush, and we're going to spread it around. See? Spread it around. Spread the love. And keeping some of the highlights. Again, I'm going to want some highlights all around my edge, but I'm going to use my white for that. It'll work better. All right, we're going to come over here to some watered down yellow ochre, and leave a little white areas. I'm so, it took me so long. I'm proud of myself now that I can remember as I actually paint to remember the white spaces where I can. Some places are just, for me, hands sometimes are a little shaky. So for me, I'm not gonna, try to do it with the shaky hands at times. So I just use some whites, and you can use whatever whites you want. You can use, I keep grabbing the green for some reason, but that's okay. It does not matter at all. Not one bit. You do not stress with painting. Unless, of course, I know if you're doing like I did a few commissions, and one of them I stressed a lot. It was a very large painting. One of the largest I've ever done. Very privileged to have to be asked to do it. But, I was very stressed. They loved it, but it was a lesson for me and stop stressing about things like that. But because they were not pushy whatsoever, they, not at all. It was my stressing myself. So, just a lesson. These things we all learn as we do things. And you're going to you're always going to end up coming back over to places that you need to enhance them because it dries so light. So see, I'm coming back over some lines here for the ears that I want to be more pronounced. I think I want some of this color in here. I'm drawing blanks on the name of my colors today for whatever reason. I don't. I'm not sure why. We want that highlight right there, so we're gonna take it out, take the color out. And then on this side here, we have this side of his ear, which is a bit highlighted as well. Just a little bit, not as much as the rest, so we'll just kind of do this, spread it around a little, keep the dark in the areas that, the shadow areas. Oh my gosh, he is so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm really, you have to sit back sometimes and go, ha. So we're just with the very tip of this brush and a very light and steady hand, putting in his little whiskers. I'm surprised I didn't change myself over to the very little, very small one, but I got it. We got it in there. And we want his little nose and stuff to stand out. And then we have oh my gosh, is he cute. Now I like to, when I'm doing whiskers on the face like this, I actually like to keep my brush a little dry because it gives this effect. If you can see it, you may have to zoom way in, but it gives a little, like I have extra, like I have extra whiskers, and then I'll come back in and I'll just darken up some of the smaller ones, but it's like you can see the little fine ones. It's making the little fine ones that are there, but that you just can't, see. So I need to go also in his eye here, the rest of his eye, with a very light touch and a very nice tip. And give him his, oh, so absolutely adorable. I knew I was going to have fun with this. I did with the with last year's Easter ones as well. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to dab a little bit of that out there. Put a little bit in here. Not much. And it's your choices what colors you want. You can have the colors of the reference photo you're using, or you can have the colors you want. I never ever end up, which you shouldn't anyway, but my point is that I never end up, I always end up with my own thing, always. I mean, and that's what I love about painting. I can, just end up doing my own thing. This doesn't really look at all like the reference photo I'm using, and that's just fine with me. Not a problem at all. The colors that I am going to use, I'm kind of purposely letting this is gonna probably be a 2-part because I can already see it. Because I don't want any of the videos to be too long. In my first tutorial, video, what do you call it, YouTube, they were too long, and I do have some long ones that I couldn't seem to get away from getting them that long, but my whole thing is that I don't want them to be long this time. I want them to be short, easy to follow, slow, so that you can follow along, and helpful. So what I'm going to be using here, and I have my little containers of acrylics. I have a yellow one with their little pill containers, yellow and white. And I actually have a little thing of a lighter green and a gamboge. An orange, I'm sorry. So I'm actually going to take some orange, but I'm still in watercolor. And I want to put some orangey highlights and things around because he has that in his fur. And I think it's pretty. So we're going to just it's just basically spreading it around in different places. And I'm grabbing some yellow as well in some different places here. And then kind of dragging it out because we want to keep that spot we had for highlight, which is there. Oh my God, he's so cute. Okay, so I want to get my colors completely off my brush. I want to massage this brush back to, for a few minutes, just do that because it really does help get most of the water out, bring your tip back to what it started with. And now I'm going over to the even smaller, if I can find it. Well, okay. Let's see. That's all right. I don't want much water on it. I'm going into my acrylic to dot that little dot of his eye and up here, that little area and around here where I just want these areas to be much lighter and whiter. And I'm using the acrylic paint, the white acrylic paint. And you can do that, yes, you can. You can, first of all, you can do whatever you want. But some people think, well, you can't mix colors with colors. Baloney. You can mix whatever you want. This is painting. You can see how much that stands out as the, and I will actually go over it again when it dries because I want these highlights in these particular areas of his ear to stand out a lot. I want those to pop. That's what it's called. It's called popping. Popping when you can see something so clearly, and I just like it a lot more. I'm going to grab some more white, and I'm going to come down here. Watercolor and acrylics blend very well together. I don't have any problems with them. They're going to blend, as far as blending, a little differently than your, and I'm poking this on because this is depicting fur. So I want a little texture going on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being super duper careful because I want this to look like it's textured. You know, I want that effect. So I'm dabbing instead of brushing it on. I'm gonna come over here and put his little whiter highlights and dabbing it so that it's looks like an effect of fur. It's so cool. So many things you can do. Oh, he looks so wonderful. Now, the only other tip I'm going to say on the acrylic part is that you make sure you wash your brush very well, because now you're talking about acrylics, which are gonna not come off your brush and harden on your brush if you don't get them off. So you just make sure you do an extra amount of washing of your brushes when you use the acrylic along with it, because you also don't want to get acrylic into your watercolor. Keep them separate, but you can use them. You can do this on a painting. No, I love it. I think it's great. That's great. I think I'm going to. No, you know what? I'm going to actually put a little pink here and there. I just happen to love that pink in the bunny area. I don't have much water on my brush or anything, and I'm just coming in and dabbing some pink through his little body, moving it around a little bit like this with a little water. I'm going to actually put extra down here on his feet, and I'm going to call that bunny done. Yep, I'm going to call him done. I hope you're liking him as much as I am. Too cute. I mean, really, just too cute. Taking some water on the brush and sort of moving some of this. There we go for the, I actually going to go to some yellow ochre here and put a little more yellow ochre here. There, okay. Oh, no, I'm sorry. One more place. So we've got to make sure around this bunny's eye, so that the darker part of the eye stands out, we're going to add white around it. That will help. I'm going to have to probably define the black a little bit more, or I never use black, sepia again. Come up here and put it in around it again. Either adding dark around light or light around dark. Now you see how that, that made such a difference. Now I'm going to have to come back in with some more, and I might even have to go a few places where I put the white and put it in again. And I'm dabbing it. I'm not, because as I said, my whole point is to depict fur. So I'm dabbing, not brushing it on. I'm dabbing it on. I'm going to put some whites there. Come around like that, up here. I think we are finished with the, yeah, that's good. Very good. All right. Now see how long is my video? Oh dear. We've gone further than I wanted to go. But I'll do a couple little seconds more with you no, I don't think I will. Not in this video, because I honestly wanted to keep these videos much shorter than that we went. Time goes by so incredibly fast when you paint, and especially when you love it. We're going to just darken these little shadow areas, and then we're going to be done for this video. And what I'll do, this will be part one of this one, and there will be a part two where I think I can get it all finished up, because the rest of it's just going to be, this was kind of intricate, so a little bit more difficult, obviously, because it was the bunny. We had certain areas that we had to get right, or the way I wanted it, softening this up a bit. And yeah, there, he's done. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed that, folks. I mean, I think he's just plain adorable. So when we come back for part 2, what we're going to do is we're going to be filling in the background. We're going to be having some flowers around him. And I'm probably going to put an egg somewhere, an Easter egg somewhere in here. But for now, this little guy is finished. So I hope you have a real, I hope you enjoyed it, because I know I did. And check out some of my other tutorials. I think you'll also have fun with those and learn a few things here and there. Like I said, it's rather beginner friendly on purpose. Everybody starts from somewhere. And I try to make them slow, try to, you know, you can rewind anyway and go back and so forth and zoom in, all the things you need to do. So have a great rest of your day, folks, and bye for now.